coffee festival.
What?
That's a coffee festival. I definitely could use some coffee.
Yes, I know.
It's 9:04. KLBK Show. Voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for community conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLBK 102.5 FM, the Voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council.
KLK 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Monday. It's November 6, 2023. This is Community Conversations. Gator Wonder is in the studio with you, and I am joined today by Megan Brown of Hope Found, and she is here to talk about the coffee festival. And if you're like me, that definitely should perk your ears up because I know I can't do without my coffee in the morning.
Same.
All right, so just kind of tell us, first let's kind of talk a little bit about what Hope Found itself is and what it does for the community.
Yes. Okay. So this is a nonprofit that myself and 3 other local women started back in 2018, officially 2019. And our mission is to end human trafficking by creating awareness and educating the communities and then coordinating services for victims and survivors.
Okay, and that definitely is very important because human trafficking is definitely something that is a huge concern. And believe it or not, that's something that actually happens here in Northeast Arkansas as well.
Yes, unfortunately so. We partner with, local police, state police, federal law enforcement in order to just be able to provide a resource to them when they do recover a victim or they need help in any possible way. And we also are a resource to, local medical providers, schools, social service providers. We're there to not only educate them, but also just be there if they do encounter, a person that is involved in trafficking and just need help with, some kind of services. So we're able to, walk alongside that person, help them, really kind of regain control over their life, find healing, find opportunities, housing, jobs, whatever they need. We're there to help support and lift them up.
Okay, and how does that translate to, like, if a person is going through that and they want to escape, like their captors, and would y'all, help find them a place to live or a place to where they would be safe to, where they would not be, under the, the imprisonment, I guess, lack of a better word, of their captor?
Yes. So what we can do is that if they want to leave that situation, because I think that's sometimes a big misconception is people think that, every victim of trafficking wants out of that situation, and it's not that easy. Many times there's many situations that keep a victim under the control of their trafficker, and that could be that trafficker's providing a need for them. They're providing housing, they're providing food, clothing, they could be providing drugs, and there's a drug addiction that kind of keeps them under that control, or the victim's scared to leave and scared to speak up. So what we can do is help find them a safe place, and that can be outside of the area, outside of Northeast Arkansas. It can even be outside of the state. And so we are well connected across the country and connected to other safe places that we can take a victim if they want to leave.
Okay, and again, I definitely want to tip my hat to you for the very important work that you do. One thing I did kind of want to get into before we get into the coffee fundraiser is sometimes people have this misconception that human traffickers, basically the quote unquote white van that just rolls up on you and snatches kids, off the street, but it actually hits closer to home than what people think it is. So kind of go into that a little bit and just kind of tell the listeners and the viewers what you need to look out for to spot human trafficking so that you can combat it.
Yes, that's such a good question because that's another big misconception is that people think that human trafficking always involves kidnapping or they're looking for that windowless white van that maybe we were probably warned about
and see
up.
we used to have one of those the station van.
Oh gosh.
By the way, if you want to help donate for us to buy a new station van, we'll definitely take that.
Yes. And so trafficking looks a lot different. It is, traffickers want to groom and build a relationship with that victim. And so they're going to do that by a lot of times contacting them online, building that relationship, especially for kids. All our kids are online, so that's an easy way for traffickers to find a victim is online. But they're going to build a relationship with them and get to know them, and groom them and earn their trust. And then eventually, once they feel like they've developed a strong bond with them, that is when the trafficking will eventually start. So it doesn't usually start off by, snatch and go, kidnapping, forceful violence in the beginning. It's later when that happens. It's always, grooming, getting to know them, taking them on dates, providing some kind of need in order to earn their trust.
And then once that trust is earned, then that's when they flip the script on them.
Yeah, that is when they flip the script and things change and that relationship becomes more abusive. And sometimes they're like, okay, well, I did all these things for you. I bought all these things for you, and now you owe me. And this is how you're going to do it. So you're going to go out and sleep with this person or prostitute, yourself.
All right, so that brings us to what you're here. I mean, obviously, we want to learn more about your organization, but you are here to talk about an event, a fundraiser, I believe, for your organization. It is the Coffee Festival. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, so we are having the inaugural Brewing Hope Coffee Festival this Saturday, November 11th, from 9 to 1 at the Glass Factory. Here in Jonesboro, or they've changed their name. They have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're rebranding. I think it's called, oh gosh, I forgot. The Venue or something. Anyways, but formerly the Glass Factory. And right now, pre-sale tickets are $15, and you can purchase them on our website.
What's that website?
hopefoundnea.org.
That's hopefoundnea.org.
That's right. Of course, on social media, there's links to the ticket event site as well. But basically, the idea is that you're going to go around, and there's 11 different coffee vendors from throughout Northeast Arkansas, and so far we have Four Kings and Story, Urban Organic, Shadrack's will be there. We have Jitterbug Coffee, the Post Bakery and Cafe. We have Busy Bean, the Bearded Sergeant Company, Moon Crater. We have a lot.
So it sounds like this is going to be a coffee lover's dream.
Yes. And so you're going to go around, you're going to sample their best brew, so their best drip coffee. And if you don't really like black coffee, we will have like a little creamer station. You can add some creamer or some, sweetener too. But you're going to sample all the different types of black coffee that they have and then vote on your favorite. And then a few of the vendors have opted to participate in the specialty drink category competition. And so they'll be providing a specialty drink that you get to sample as well. And then you get to vote on it. And so it's kind of like a people's choice competition.
Okay, and I'm looking at your flyer here. Look like you got some sponsors here. We definitely want to shout them out. Looks like we got the Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission and First Horizon Bank.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we could not do this without their financial support, so we are extremely grateful for them. And also we have Mr. and Mrs. Bill and Vicki Harrison that also have been a real big financial support for our coffee festival.
So how did the idea come about to do this? There's different things you could have done as fundraisers for this type of event, but how did you come up with the idea for a coffee festival? Because that's kind of out of the box.
I know. So actually, my best friend lives in Cincinnati, and last year she told me that her and her family were going to go to a coffee festival. And I was like, man, that sounds so cool. And I knew that nowhere here that I know in Arkansas, yet alone Northeast Arkansas, has a coffee festival. And there are so many amazing local coffee shops and people that, roast coffee and own their own coffee shop throughout Northeast Arkansas. And I was like, that would be a really cool event to bring to Arkansas. So it was kind of twofold because I was like, I really want to do this event because it's neat, it's fun, it highlights all the amazing coffee vendors we have in NEA, but then also it can hopefully raise some funds and awareness for what we do.
Okay. And let's go ahead for those who just tuning in, give the details of the who, what, when, why, and where.
Yes. So Brewing Hope Coffee Festival, benefiting us at Hope Found, will take place Saturday, November 11th at the Glass Factory here in Jonesboro from 9 to 1. Tickets are $15 up until Thursday the 9th. And then after that, they'll be $20 or $20 at the door. Oh, and veterans and kids under 10 do get in free.
Okay. So if you're a veteran, thank you for your service. You can get you some free coffee, and kids, you can get some free coffee as well.
Oh, so we'll have some apple cider and hot chocolate for kids.
Okay, I'm about to say, do you sure you want to get a bunch of kids wired up on caffeine and all that coffee there? You know, may have them bouncing around all over the place.
Yes. Oh, and we'll also have some other vendors. Will be some like bakeries, some other people that are going to be selling candles and coffee mugs. And we're also going to have a virtual reality immersive experience where you can walk in the shoes of a 14-year-old girl named Lisa, who was a victim of human trafficking. And she's going to talk to you through that experience about what was going on in her life that led to her getting into a relationship with the person that trafficked her.
Oh, that should definitely be powerful. I wish I was going to be in town that weekend. I would definitely want to check that out. But I'm going to definitely catch the next one you'll have. So speaking of that, are there plans to do additional events and fundraisers for your organization?
Yes. So we'll do Date Night with a Purpose in February. And that's when we partner with a fine dining restaurant and we'll deliver meals to your door, like in an insulated delivery bag. So you get to kind of stay in and date at home. And then we'll have our Ride Against Trafficking June 1st. That's a motorcycle ride.
Okay, so those definitely sound exciting. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the other programs you do. I mean, we kind of talked about the assistant, but is there anything else that Hope Found does in the realm of, human trafficking?
Yes, so we do a lot of education, especially for our youth. And so we have a Power Youth Exploitation Prevention Program. So we can go into the schools, we can talk to them about how to protect themselves from exploitation. We also have curriculums that are more like intensive, where we can do one-on-one or in a small group setting, where we can also teach them about, hey, these are the disguises that these predators, these traffickers wear. This is what it looks like. This is what you need to look out for. And it also, the basis of one of the programs or one of the curriculums is all about teaching empathy and helping them know the difference between empathy, apathy, and sympathy, because not only do we want to protect them from getting taken advantage of, but we also don't want them to become the exploiter. We don't want them to become the person that is doing the taking advantage of. So the curriculum that we teach is kind of twofold.
Okay. And what kind of results have you gotten from this education?
Well, we've seen that, students now are able to recognize more about, I didn't know anything about this before. Now I do know more about it. Now I can recognize, that if there's a certain person in my life that may be trying to take advantage of me, and they can also they can identify positive influences in their life that they can turn to when this is happening. And then they can also recognize the negative influences that are going on in their life that may be trying to pull them into an exploitive situation.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about how rewarding it must feel for you when you can see the fruits of your work, when someone who was in that situation now comes out of it. To kind of walk the listeners and the viewers through, how does that personally make you feel?
Well, of course, we're thrilled when people are able to, accomplish different goals that they've set for themselves. And that's one of the things we work with them on is it's an individual basis. So we're like, okay, what do you need the most? How can we help? And how can we empower you to meet that goal? And so when they're able to do that, it's just amazing just to be able to see lives changed and for them to find hope in their life.
Okay, and earlier in the conversation, you said that you started this organization with a couple other people. What made you all start to do this? What woke something up inside you to make you say, look, we got to do this?
Yeah, so I think all four of us have different reasons for really starting or coming together and realizing that something needed to happen. But back in 2018 was when we kind of all came together. And there were 3 cases throughout Northeast Arkansas that kind of happened that year. One here in Jonesboro with the former owner of the Korean restaurant.
I remember that.
Yes. And then there was a couple other cases in different counties with minors. And we just recognized that, hey, there really needs to be some more education throughout Northeast Arkansas. There really needs to be, a program that can really meet the specific needs of a victim. And so that's kind of why we were like, okay, we know this is an issue. We care about it. What can we do? And after kind of assessing the need, we're like, okay, let's start Hope Found.
Okay. Now, what are some of the warning signs that someone may be a victim of human trafficking?
So, human trafficking's been a crime since 2000, so only 23 years. And so for the last 23 years, we've always been like, know the red flags, know the red flags. What do those look like? Now we kind of recognize, because of how human trafficking is, you're not going to really know if someone is a victim unless you know them, know their situation. So you're not going to be able to walk into a nail salon or restaurant and say, oh, they're a victim of trafficking, unless you are able to talk to them and get to know them. And
that's kind of like what happened in the case at the Asian restaurant. I believe the person that was trafficked kind of let a customer that she was waiting on know, hey, I need help.
Yes, exactly. And so when you are out and you're, eating, or you're getting your nails done, or you're interacting, with your patients or students, just talking to them and asking them questions about their situation, their job. If you're talking to a waiter or someone in a job industry and you're like, hey, what do you like to do for fun? And they can't really name any of the local places they get to go. They can't, name a lot of the things, around here. That could be a red flag that, hey, they don't have a lot of freedom. If you notice that there's somebody in their life that's very controlling of them, that can be a red flag. There are some physical indicators, of course, like tattoos that are associated with trafficking that they may have, or of course, signs of abuse, but still that doesn't really say that they're a victim. So it's kind of more about context and proximity, what's the whole picture. And we really believe about building relationships, because many times a relationship is what got a victim into the trafficking situation. And so being that person and building that strong relationship with them is what we believe can kind of help get them out of that situation. So we encourage all people, just build relationships, talk to them, talk to the person doing your nails if you can, talk to the people waiting on you, just get to know them and their situation.
All right, then, as we're ready to wrap up, once again, give all the information about the coffee festival. Let them know what's going down.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, no, we want you to promote the coffee festival one more time.
Oh, one more time. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Brewing Hope Coffee Festival, Saturday, November 11th from 9 to 1 at the Glass Factory. Get your tickets now for $15, or you can pay $20 after November 9th. Tickets for veterans are free, as well as kids under 10.
Okay, and of course they're going to have some other things going on as well. They're going to have some pastries, and they're going to have the simulator in which you will get to see what it's like to actually be in that person's shoes. So definitely want to encourage each and every one of you to come out and enjoy some great coffee, and also learn some valuable information on how you can help combat human trafficking. Want to thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Community Conversation. That's going to do it. You guys have a great and blessed day. This is Kate, LEK, on 2.5 FM.